let us define what is training. So, training is not an activity that is done once to new workers in an organization. It is used continuously in every well-run institution. So, in organizational training, it is a process of transferring knowledge within an organization. So, this type of training focuses on developing employees for their current jobs, but it also prepares them for future roles and responsibilities. Through this, employees can develop new skills. Principles and techniques in training. Have a timetable, break down the job, have everything ready, and have the workplace properly arranged. So, what is a timetable? So, a timetable is a material that includes the different activities involved in a training program or process. Usually, it lists the various training sessions and events, including the time allocated for each session and the course's facilitator or training conductor. Next, break down the job. So, break, break down the job. It is the reduction of a complex job into its individual tasks, accompanied by step-by-step procedures for accomplishing each task. So, what do we mean by breakdown? So, breakdown, it means to separate. To ensure the most productive training session, you also need to prepare trainees so that they are highly motivated before they walk through the training doors. Use these pre-training techniques to put trainees in a receptive frame of mind, get them geared up for the topic, and prepare them to learn. So, creating learning content is the most important element of training. So, does everything need to be well prepared? So, unless you have done the preparation through, evaluated all the known scenarios, you will always be shocked by the unforeseen or by failure. It is in preparation that we develop our mental resilience, and it is through failure that we develop a life resilience. So, proper training is necessary in the workplace because it enhances employees' performance, boosts employee productivity, reduces employee turnover, and improve company culture. The best planned training programs will be effective if the trainers are highly qualified. A well-qualified trainer is one who has the mastery of the tech information and details of a particular job. He knows how to train a person. So, in doing that, to have a best planned training program, so we should have a timetable. So, we should break down the job, have everything ready, and have the workplace properly arranged, just as the worker will be expected to keep it. Next are the types of worker training. So, the types of worker training best suited to an organization depend upon a number of factors, such as skills called for the job to be filled and qualifications. So, there are various types of training, such as classroom training, on-the-job training, performed instruction, refresher training, and vestibule training. So, each type of that training has its own purpose, procedures, and goals, or what we call objectives, as a continuing function of enhancing the productivity level of the worker. It is important to have some type of training because it helps companies gain and retain top talent, increase job satisfaction and morale, improve productivity, and earn more profit. So, the importance of having skills training for an individual worker is that it increased productivity and performance. When employees undergo training, it improves their skills and knowledge of the job and builds their confidence in their abilities. This will improve their performance and make them work more efficiently and effectively. Performance appraisal. So, let us define what is performance appraisal. So, it is a systematic evaluation of the performance of employees and to understand the abilities of a person for further growth and development. So, It is a subjective evaluation of the employee's strengths and weaknesses, relative worth to the organization, and future development potential. It is also the basis for determining who are eligible for promotion to a higher position. So, the purpose of performance appraisal is to provide adequate feedback to each person on his or her performance, to serve as a basis, and to provide data to managers. It helps employees to determine their role in the company and to see their professional future clearer. In other words, it sets them on the path to improving their skills. Bonuses, money always helps. If an employee performance review is positive, it could improve the employee's salary. Effective performance appraisal is a two-way personalized conversation between appraiser and appraisee. It should incorporate feedback on the employee's contribution to individual, team, and corporate goals. Setting smart objectives for the upcoming review period. So the importance of an effective performance appraisals is that it is essential for the growth of a company and the employee. It helps the company to find out whether the employee is being productive or is a liability. It helps the employee also to find out where his or her career is heading. It is an essential part of HR management. So, management by objectives is a cyclical process that consists 4 steps as a guide to achieve desired results. So, what do we mean by cyclical process? So, it means that it is a process in which the initial and final states are the same. So, we have here the 4 steps as a guide to achieve the desired results. So, we have the objective setting. So, in objective setting, there should be a determination by managers and workers of appropriate levels of future performance for the worker within a context of overall unit objectives and resources set for the next calendar year. Next is the action planning. So this is the participative planning stage by worker as to how to accomplish the desired objectives. So action planning, it is an action plan that is initiated prior to training intervention so that everyone who can support the transfer of learning is involved from the beginning. The plan is refined during the training event and usually is not completed until after the event when learners are implementing new skills on the job. So, the purpose of action plan is to clarify what resources are required to reach the goal and formulate a timeline for when specific tasks need to be completed. Next is periodic reviews. So, there should be a joint assessment of progress toward objectives by managers and workers performed informally. So, what is periodic review? So, it is an assessment of various elements to determine the validation status and the actions required to maintain the validated state of systems or equipment. And next is annual evaluation. So, there should be an annual formal assessment of success in accomplishing the workers' annual objectives coupled with a removal of the planning cycle. So, annual evaluation is also known as performance review, which is a process used by organizations to give employees feedback on their job performance and formally document that performance. So now let us proceed to reward system. So reward system represents a powerful motivational force in organizations, but this is true only when the system is fair and tied to performance. So it is generally agreed that reward systems influence the following job effort and performance. So, following expectancy theory, employees' effort and performance would be expected to increase when they felt that rewards were contingent upon good performance. Hence, reward systems serve a very basic motivational function. Performance appraisal systems would serve a variety of functions of central importance to employees. Performance appraisal systems have three basic functions. So number one, to provide adequate feedback to each person on his or her performance. Number two, to serve as a basis for modifying or changing behavior toward more effective working habits. And number three, to provide data to managers with which they may judge future job assignments.
Let's proceed to our next topic, class. Next is aspects of performance appraisal system. We have three performance appraisal systems. First is various uses for performance appraisals. Second, typical problems found in the performance appraisals. And third, several methods for reducing errors in the appraisal system. Uses performance appraisals. It has variety of resources to use. We have major uses. Feedback to employees. Performance appraisals provide feedback to employees about quantity and quality of job performance. So, explain na ko sa inyo ang quantity and quality sa feedback to employees. Quantity is naa siya'y goal. Like, kailangan mahuman sa employee ang gi-assign sa iya nga buhaton kas adlaw. Like, kung pila ka-task ang na-accomplish sa employee. And quality naman is ang employees dapat daw, ang isa ka employees dapat na siya inani nga quality. Accurate, dapat accurate siya, dapat neat, dapat attentive to detail, moral high standard, and next is self-development. Self-development is a significant part of your performance review because it reflects your self-awareness and professional development. Next is reward system. Reward system is like for example, nag-overtime ka, dungagan ang imuhang bonus. So, mo na like for example sa reward system. Next is personal decision. Personal decision. Ang mga personal ang mag-decision na mag-promote ka. And last, timing and development. So, diri na may balaan sa mga managers o kinsa tong mga employers or employees and maayo sa trabaho or dili. So, makatabang ang appraisal sa nagikandak like interview para ma-identify ni. So, next is performance rating used by something organizations. First is outstanding. So, outstanding is halimbawa, ang isa ka employee is maayo ang iyang ginapakita nga trabaho. Kaya, deserve niya nga outstanding. So, next is very satisfactory. Very satisfactory means kanang matagaan ang isa ka employee ani nga rating if ginabuhat niya iyahang duties and responsibilities na fit sa iyang position as employee. performance appraisals. Sa organization, nagagamit silang mga pamaagi or techniques to evaluate personnel. We have the 5 techniques are reviewed. First is critical incident technique. And second, behaviorally anchored rating skills. Third, behavioral observation skills. Four, management by objectives. And five, assessment skills. Following this review, na-consider nato ang mga various strengths and weaknesses each of these
Techniques of performance appraisal. First technique is critical incident technique. So supervisors record incident or examples of each subordinate's behavior that led to either unusual success or unusual failure on some aspect of the job. So for example, if a manager wanted to improve worker performance, the manager would observe and collect incidents in order to learn how best to improve employee performance. Behaviorally anchored rating scales. It is an appraisal system that has received increasing attention. So, this is a scale that assesses the performance of new employees or trainees based on well-defined behavioral patterns. These patterns are used to rate each individual employee. A behaviorally anchored rating scale is an essential component of any structured interview. The advantage of behaviorally anchored rating scales or bars is that it is easy to use and clearly defined. Behavioral indicators eliminate confusion. So, for example, if you evaluate whether a customer-facing employee treats visitors well, you can specify that the expected performance is greeting them with a smile. Behavioral observation scales or BUS. So, the behavioral observation scales or BUS is similar to bars in that focus on identifying observable behaviors as they relate to performance. So, BUS measures behaviors that you want the employee to achieve. The skill portion means it's not a yes or no situation but rates the employees in a scale. For instance, a 5-point scale would ask the manager to choose among the following for how often an employee exhibits each behavior.